Happy good Monday morning to you. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm seeing quite a number of friends over on LinkedIn joining us this morning. Good morning, Annette. Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Joseph. How you guys doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? How was the weekend? I will be honest in telling you that this morning woke up with a grateful heart. I'm so happy that I got some time to spend with the family this weekend. Did a good number of home projects. I'm not the handyman. I'm the son of a chef and don't have a natural inclination to repairing things, but was able to put some of that energy in the right place and get some home projects done this weekend. Um, how was your weekend? Hit me up in the comments here and just share, how you're feeling and what your weekend was like. I'm not going to take a great deal of time this morning as my as the overlay on today's episode. I felt the need to do a mental health Monday. There is, and I know we have people from all over the world tuning in, not just being here in the US, but I think it translates to wherever you are. I think we are all done with COVID. I wish COVID was done, but I think we are all done with this pandemic. We are all exhausted in this season. We are ready for this to pass, right? But despite all that's happening, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that my family is well. I'm grateful that my wife and I were able to get our first shots. I'm grateful for my dad. Many of my dad has suffered 2 strokes over the last 16 months, and that's posed a great challenge. And I myself have gone through quite a season in 2020 where my own mental health became my priority one through what the experiences of COVID, through my dad having, such a tough challenge with his own health, with dealing with his business internationally, and trying to navigate that tide, and just a myriad of other things. But mornings like this morning, I woke up feeling heavy. I woke up feeling anxious. In many ways, woke up feeling a bit frustrated. And the tip I'm going to share with you this morning sounds simple as ever. Many of you who follow me on Instagram, my stories are often of me walking the dog pretty early in the morning. Yes, I have to walk the dog, but many mornings the dog's walking me. And by that, what I mean is I need to get out. And this is something my therapist taught me when I started having anxiety and panic attacks back in October. Thank God those haven't happened as much recently. But weeks like this past week have been heavy, right? There's a pandemic and there's all the things that you and I are challenged by and still have to function and operate and get our work done. But, when you come through a weekend where there are 2 shootings in Texas and Wisconsin, when you get through a week like last week where you have, police shooting and killing black men, where you have a black man just, being bothered for walking in his own neighborhood, when you have a military, a black lieutenant in the army being pulled over and maced um, for a minor traffic violation, when you have another young 20-year-old, shot because an officer thought it was the taser, not the gun. All of that begins to wear on me, right? And I don't mean to start the Monday morning off with this heavy, but I'm just sharing with you. All these things are heavy. They're heavy for me, and they're heavy for a good number of you listening to this. So what do we do? How do we come through this, right? Because we're starting the week off. It's Monday morning. And I'm going to encourage you to do what I just did. Because if I tried to record this 45 minutes ago, I probably would have just said, hey, I'm going to skip Monday. And what did I do at 7:15 this morning? I put the dog on a leash and I walked. And sometimes, anxiety is really just you projecting a future reality that doesn't exist. Fear, as many of you heard, is false evidence appearing real. And so a lot of your fear and your anxiety and worry are you getting out, to a future scenario. The anxiety of last week really came from, this fear once again of, when you hear of these things, at least for me, I imagine myself in the scenario, right, of being pulled over. And I get very anxious every time a cop pulls up behind me. I get very, very anxious because I wonder if that's going to be me, right? I'm wondering if I'm going to get home to my 2 crumb snatchers. And I'm projecting a future reality that isn't here, right? And so what I've been taught is to get into an environment where I'm lodged in the present. I get away from social media. There are a couple days last week where I had to remove myself from social, remove myself from a Twitter feed, remove myself from anything that was going to be toxic, was going to provide more on top of what I'd already been dealing with. So for me, and maybe for you, I encourage you, put down the phone, put down the tech, put down the news, turn off the TV. Get outside. It's spring for many of us that live in a 4-season climate. Go take a walk. Go be one. This morning, I was able to listen to the birds on the walk. I was able to watch the sunrise. I was able to breathe. There's something to be said about just breathing, taking in long, deep breaths in and out while you're walking. Sometimes we're holding our breath, right? We're so anxious. We're so wound up. We're just holding our breath. So breathe. And these are self-care tips, right? There are days where I walk and I listen to a book. And there are days like this morning where the only reason I had the phone on me was that I needed to get back in the house. But, I put the phone away and I just walked. And I got my 3,000 steps in this morning on that walk and was able to pray. I'm a Christian man, and I leverage that time to have a conversation with God and to get myself centered so that I can come and I can have this conversation with you and I can get into my workday and be productive. I don't want you guys to be paralyzed by, and it's easier said than done. We can get consumed because right now, I guarantee you, I can feel great and I can turn on the news in 5 minutes and be wound up again. So if today is a day And some of you need to hear this message. If today's a day where you need to turn off your phone, you need to turn off the news. I want to say turn off your phone. If you have to operate on your phone for work, do that, but try and stay off of social media. Try to focus in on you. If you're a person of faith, center yourself spiritually. Focus on the people and the things that matter most to you, right? And get to a place where you can function. And if you can't, and you need to take a day off, do so, right? If you need to remove yourself from work and all the noise, do so. Take care of yourself. You are very valuable. You are very important. And it is my prayer that I inspire you to take care of yourself, to develop some mental strength, to employ some self-care on this Monday and during this week. And I hope that we will all have a fantastic week ahead. I'm praying for just clarity of purpose, clarity of mind, and peace and joy for this week. So I just wanted to step into this week. This morning, one mind when I stepped out the door, I was like, I'm going to skip this Monday morning. And just like with the podcast, there are many days where I thought I was going to publish. And I said, let's see what happens. And here I am. So I hope I didn't, add to the frustration. I wanted to speak out all that I'm feeling, that I know many of you are feeling right now. And just encourage you to take it. Last year I had to, many people say, take it one day at a time. There are many days last year where I had to take it 1 hour at a time and just take the next step, take the next, thing that needed to get done and focus on nothing more. I may ask you right now, maybe you just need to focus on taking the next hour, right? And stepping into this Monday and saying, let's see what happens, and put your best foot forward. And so I will pause there and encourage you to just get into this day with a positive mind. Take care of you. Make sure you take care of that self-care, right? And let's have a great week. All right. Much love. Be blessed.